G'day YouTube, it's me, Unsort Space, and I just got done streaming not too long ago. However, I was gonna go to bed after I was done streaming. That's the whole reason I stopped. And then I was like, okay, I'll cruise around on YouTube for a little bit before I go to bed, as a lot of us do. And I saw this video by Tectone. Came out not long ago, at 28 views when I was surprised the views were so low because I'm never early. But I got to about here in the video and there was just an analogy that I disagreed with. So I'm just going to talk about it. Now, I don't normally do these sorts of videos, so it might be a bit sketchy. It might be a bit bad quality. And I also might, if Tectone wants me to take down this video for the simple fact that a lot of it is just him talking, I'm more than happy to do that, because a lot of it is probably just going to be me responding to points that I either disagree with or major points in the video. So
call me slicker the way I suck my boys dry.
I'll also try not to talk over it too much, so I'll probably be pausing it. We could have skipped this bit, in all honesty.
Dude, today's been a fucking whirlwind, man. And in case you guys didn't know, like, the whole slicker thing is like spiraling into a lot of people like virtue signaling about how like they don't gamble, yada yada yada. And one man's weakness is kind of being like cascaded as a blanket statement for, oh, because Slicker can't control his habits, that means nobody can. Which in my opinion is just a very weak argument to do.
Well, the reason it's a good argument is because it's been going on for so long, right? In terms of viewers, right, gambling on the website, and people are fed up with it. So they've latched on to this argument and being like, get rid of this fucking shit. So that's the reason it's a good. It's not a good argument as soon as one person does it and you just assume that like that's the only instance of it happening. Let's correct for everyone else. That's not what's happened, you know.
Like, oh, because Slicker can't control
people are just over the fact that
nobody should do it on planet Earth. Just
gambling
like, oh, you know,
is being seen as, sorry, I will pause it. Gambling is being seen as something that is child friendly. It is not child friendly. This is my argument against gambling, against all kinds of gambling, gacha, loot boxes, definitely slots, any kind of paid RNG is teaching children to gamble, especially if it's allowed on Twitch, because it gets massive amounts of exposure to children, to anyone who's and I refer to children or kids, let's call them kids, 15 and under, right? They like, and the age that it goes down to is probably even someone who's like 6 or 7 year olds. Like, I would have been watching Twitch at 6 or 7 if Twitch was around. Unfortunately, I was playing with dirt in the backyard.
Mom's a bad driver, that means nobody should drive. If my grandpa got addicted to alcohol, that means nobody should drink it. If my friend got diabetes from drinking soda, nobody should do it. If my buddy drowned in water, well then nobody should swim. If my sister slipped on ice, that means that nobody should go ice skating. It's just like, it's a very dangerous path when you take one man's weakness, one man's mistake, and then you kind of just...
It's a dangerous argument to make, or it's a leading argument to make when you bring up a point and then you take it to the extreme. Like, this happened to my buddy, so that means everyone should not do what he did. That's just ridiculous, and you're using that to fight against the argument against gambling. I don't see why that's a good thing. All you're doing is trying to straw man in a different way.
Just try to virtue signal and say, well, I'm
trying to straw man without straw manning.
And if you live this way, you're wrong. It's just a little bit small-minded in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. That's kind of blowing up to like no gambling being allowed on Twitch.
That's not the thing I disagreed with, though.
I do think that gambling should not be allowed on Twitch, but it's just kind of like, where does it stop? Because aspects of RNG for like incentivization, profit, delusion of grandeur, all that shit are everywhere, right? So let's just say this, okay? let's say that we can't gamble. And once again, if this trickles down to, you know what, we'll get to it. No gambling on Twitch, if this happens. You know, like no slots, no blackjack, no poker, right? And then that goes even further, right? To no gacha games. No games where you spend money to get characters, right? And then
well, like that is gambling.
Where does that go? Okay, no games with loot boxes, no overwatch.
That's gambling too.
Fortnite. No games with RNG on winning a fight.
That's not gambling. That's not. What are you gambling? You're not gambling anything. You're just gambling whether you win or you lose. You're not actually like losing anything other than your pride. You have infinite amounts of that. You know what I mean? It's not teaching kids to funnel money into a machine so that they can get a kick. You know what I mean? So they get that, like, oh, can I get that good thing? Oh, I didn't get it. Okay, I'll put more money in. That's gambling. And you can do that with loot boxes. You can do that with gacha. And you can definitely do that with slots. It's all gambling.
Right, because that is gambling. Fortnite shooting is gambling. And you wouldn't want any players.
It's not gambling, it's just RNG. It's like playing Go Fish. It's like, yeah, okay, you might call it a gamble to say, like, do you have a 6? But what are you gambling? Your turn? Who gives a shit? No one cares.
The only reason why they're winning is because
like one is something that you learn when you're a kid, right? It doesn't hurt you, other than like unless you're like a crazy bad loser, then more than likely it'll hurt you and you'll never get any friends. And then the other one can literally destroy your entire life. You know, we're not comparing apples and apples here.
Accidentally lined up.
I understand the point. Oh, sorry, I keep pausing it. I keep thinking of points. I understand the point of arguing that not all gambling is, they're not all the same. However, they all, like, there are things that lead down the same path, and that is loot boxes, gacha, and obviously slots, because that is just full-on gambling, right? Whereas RNG, when you and your mate are shooting at each other, whether who's going to win, that doesn't lead to slots. It doesn't lead to loot boxes. Unless in that game, your friend can happen to buy a loot box to get a better gun to be more likely to win the fight.
Pretty much, we should only be allowed to play CSGO because that's the most
RNG in and of itself is not gambling.
Feels bad. When does the line
it's not gambling in the life-destroying sense.
It's becoming a very slippery slope. But it's just kind of like figuring out where is the problem truly at. I want to ask you a question. Let's remove the slicker talk in its entirety.
I'll tell you, like, to be fair, I don't have to pause it to say where the problem is truly at, because I literally just said it. One of them, RNG is not fundamentally gambling. Because, like, let's imagine what RNG is for a second. We're going to talk about in programming, just so I can sort of get the people who are just seeing them as exactly the same to sort of see them as, like, or start to see them as a bit different. RNG in a program, if I created a script that said generate me a number between 1 and 20, and it spat out 6, at what point was I gambling? I wasn't. I just told the computer to spit out a number between 1 and 6, right? Now, when it is gambling is when you are fishing for a result. Now, in a lot of shooters, you can fish for that result by aiming at your target. But with a lot of, like, loot boxes, you can fish for that result by putting in more money. Do you sort of understand what I mean? It's not the best analogy. I'm not the best at making analogies. My line is drawn when you can put money into the game to have more chances.
Let's remove the talk about train wrecks. Let's remove the talk about slots, gambling, etc. Let's focus on what I like to do, and that's play gacha games. I do like playing gacha games from time to time. They are very fun from time to time, right? It's obvious as what constitutes as gambling. I'm
a low spender, and in a lot of other gacha games, I'm free to play. You know what I mean? I'm not a big whale. I love gacha games. I don't love them for the PvP. I love them for the variety. However, people who love it for too much variety often end up turning into people who spend a lot of money. So whales, you know.
Slot machines count as gambling, and loot boxes in CS:GO not count as gambling. It's not obvious. Why would poker and blackjack count as gambling, but gacha games would not constitute as gambling? Just go by federal law? I never read it. Gambling with money is very different than gambling in a game. There's only so much that can be spent on gacha games, but gambling doesn't have that limit. What are you talking about? That's completely incorrect. That is 1,000,000% incorrect.
Yeah.
You can spend an infinite amount of money on gacha games. 1,000,000,000%.
So this is all new to me, by the way, because I only got to about here in the video before. So all of this, what he's about to start talking about, is all new to me. So this is all reacting on the go.
You think that the difference is because of pity systems? Not all gacha games have pity systems. FGO
No, that's right.
has a pity system. I mean, you could dump $2 million in FGO and still not have everything. Same thing with Summoner's War, or
Yeah.
Epic 7. You can spend 10 million, even a...
You can technically do the same thing in Genshin. Now, there is no pity. This is a very good example. I am a person who has gotten 9 monas. I have 9 monas. I do not have a single Diluc, which was when I started the game, back when the game released. That was my most wanted character, right? And the reason being is I'm a redhead. I love the redheaded character. I really wanted a redheaded dude character. Still don't have him. Guess who else I don't have? Kaching. I'm 2 years into the fucking game and I'm a light spender. And I don't have 2 characters that are on the standard banner, but instead I have 9 monas. 2 of which are completely useless. You could technically do the same thing in Genshin. Odds are it wouldn't happen to you. However, it has happened to me. You could technically, odds aren't great, but you could technically spend an infinite amount of money to gain all of the characters in the game.
$100 million in Summoner's War and Epic 7, and you would still not have everything. And then if one gacha game is banned, what's to say not all gacha games are banned? Because who's really going to look into the technicalities of what constitutes a good, generous gacha versus a non-generous gacha? JK lol, no gachas are generous, and they're all vulturistic, and they're all ready to prey.
Well, that's that's their aim, exactly. All gachas are trying to be infinite money sinks. That's how they make their money. So, yeah, by definition, they're not trying to be generous.
It sucks that you're tied to gacha because those games are really predatory. I agree. Here's the difference. This is my opinion, and I want to know if you guys disagree and why. Because I like having an open narrative with you guys and see how you guys feel, because that helps me formulate my opinion based off any opinions that maybe I haven't thought of yet.
Well, I hope you don't dislike this video, because it's not meant as a hate thing. It's just meant as my opinion at the end of the day.
What do you think is going to get people into a gacha game more? Watching people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a good character, or watching a free-to-play player beat the whole game without spending a dime?
Probably the whale. You can see that in the viewership of Wishing. So I don't know what he's about to say, but it would be the whaling. It's way more interesting than, bro, I got through the whole fucking game with Noelle. God, she's so cool. What do I need all these 5 stars for? Don't call me a pleb.
I want to explain to you guys why free-to-play content creators are much more dangerous than whale content creators. Do you know what every single mobile game gacha sponsorship requires you to say? What it requires you to say? This game is completely free-to-play friendly.
Yeah. Okay, I'd like to see where he's going with this.
You can play it without spending a dime. Do you want to know why that is? It's because that's how you get the player's foot in the door. You
exactly.
say, oh, bro, you could play it for free. And then you play it. And then you think, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. I like it. What do people do when they like doing something? Like, for example, anime. Why do you think
Yeah, and what they'll do, right, is once they have your foot in the door, or once they have their foot in the door, let's use that analogy, is they'll put something in front of you like, oh, you're free to play so far, and you're probably pretty proud of that, but guess what? There's this 99 cents offer, and it's not much money, but you're going to get 800% value. I'm using Diablo Immortal as a bit of an example here, or whatever. I can't remember how much it costs in Diablo Immortal, but what they'll do is they'll try to make you essentially give in and become invested. Once you spend a little bit, you're more likely to spend a little bit more. And once you spend a little bit more, you're more likely to spend a little bit more. And that's how they get you to start spending. Once they get you to start spending, it's not more likely you will... Sorry, it is more likely you will spend again. However, it's not 50-50. I think it's more like 30% of people will probably spend again. But it's a foot in the door.
You like anime, go to Anime Con, they surround you in all these things that you like, and then you buy a bunch of anime shit. The same thing with gacha games. You play them, you say, oh yeah, you can go for free, you can play for free. And then you see all this cool ass shit. You see the waifus, you see the extra packs, you see the ability to play longer, all that shit. And then you think, oh fuck, I'm gonna spend. It's just one time. How bad can it hurt? Here's the reality. The first spend, no matter how little it is a gateway for everything else. The number one thing that gacha games want you to do is to get the first spend out of the way. That's why it does.
That's exactly right.
Genshin Impact, where it's like they don't give you enough money to get the things that you like. They're so stingy with everything that they fucking give you. It's crazy.
I've always kind of hated that. I've also played Punishing Grey Raven. I think I mentioned that at the beginning. But like I've played a bunch of other gacha games. I've played Summoners War, I've played Honkai, I've played Monster Super League, and played Monster Legends because my roommate convinced me to. I've played. I'm not going to mention Pokemon Go. Everyone fucking played that, but that's not really a gacha game. However, what was he talking about?
Spend out of the way. That's why it does piss me off for Genshin Impact, where it's like they don't give you enough money to get.
Yeah, that's right. They're stingy. With Punishing Grey Raven, it's really good how they have that system in Punishing Grey Raven where it's really easy. Oh well, it's not that easy, but it's pretty easy to get your hands on a single S rank, and then by the time the next S rank gets released, you might have enough currency to get that one too. And by the time the next S rank gets released, you might have enough currency to get that one too. But that's like, and the way they structure it is you can go all the way up to, so that it starts at S rank, and then you have double S, and then you have triple S, and then you have triple S plus. Now, getting from S to double S is 30 shards, and each time you summon an S rank, you get 30 shards. So let's say you pull the first S rank, and then you pull it again, so that'll bring it to double S rank. The next S rank, I think, is 90, so that's another 3. So that now all of a sudden you need to pull 4 in order to get to triple S, and then I don't know what to get to triple S plus, because I actually don't have a character at triple S plus. Because I've been I've been ranking up my A ranks, so I don't know what the value is for triple S plus. I like that sort of stuff, because then the people who want to spend a lot of money feel they spend a lot more money to allow the free-to-play players to not get the same kind of power level, but feel like the game is, it's giving me enough to get the to get 1 S rank every time it comes out. So I can maintain this. I can continue to feel like I am kept up with the game, if that makes sense. Because the whales have to spend more than average to get to the maximum level that a character can have, maximum power that a character can have, which is triple S plus. Whereas a free-to-play player can, by update to update, pretty much get enough currency to get a free-to-play weapon for a character and the S rank, and then be pretty happy. And then the next update, they get it again. Next update, they get it again. It's not exactly like that. However, that's what I would consider to be a more free-to-play friendly game than Genshin, which releases a 5-star. Let's say they release a 5-star every update. You don't have enough free-to-play currency update to update to guarantee that character. You just don't. So it's not free to play friendly.
That you like. They're so stingy with everything that they fucking give you. It's crazy. The character stories are pretty much an advertisement to get you.
I probably got a bit confusing there. I'm really sorry. In terms of giving analogies and stuff, I'm not that great at it. I do try, but I'm not that great.
Attached to the characters, that way you're going to want to pull one. And so when free-to-play content creators do show how, quote unquote, how easy it is to beat everything completely free to play, what they're not telling you is that they're also playing 8 to 10 hours every single day, grinding the game into absolute oblivion. And if you are not taking...
I don't understand this argument. I actually don't understand that. If you're someone who is free to play and you're saying that the game is easy, I don't understand how you're playing it for, what do you say, 10 hours a day? You run out of resin. Well, I might be I might be not thinking of something, like maybe the 5 to 10 hours or whatever he said was exploring the region to get chests so they have more primos. That I guess would make sense, but that runs out. You can't do that indefinitely. The advantage that whales have for getting powered up is resin, and you can't do that for 10 hours a day if you're free to play, because it's 15 minutes and then you're done and you log off. That's what I do. It's 15 minutes of using my 150 resin. Hopefully it doesn't overcharge by the time I log on. And then as well, fuck, what do I do now? I guess I'll go play Punishing Grey Raven. You know what I mean? But a whale can continue to play by buying more resin.
Taking the game hardcore. And if you are a casual free to play, you are getting...
Again, that's my problem. You cannot play the game hardcore. I just don't see that. Like in Destiny, if you could pay to get all the exotics, I wouldn't give a shit, because I can play that game all fucking day, and eventually maybe in 2, 3, 4 weeks, I'll have all the exotics. You know what I mean? I can't do that in Genshin. I cannot do that. It's not possible.
Absolutely fine.
I'm not going to gather mint. That's not going to do anything for me.
That is the reality of gacha games. And that's why I feel like free-to-play content creators who do advertise how free-to-play the game is, look at me, look what I can do, who don't tell you, oh, by the way, I play this game for 12 hours a day every single day, no breaks, play it every day, is way more dangerous than somebody saying, oh yeah, bro, I spent $500,000 and I got everything. Out of curiosity, how many people do you know who are gonna buy a game for $500,000? If somebody said, oh yeah, dude, play this game, you can never...
Like in that analogy, that makes sense. Them being more dangerous than the dude who said, yeah, I spent $1 million and got everything. The free-to-play player is absolutely more dangerous because they will suck people in who aren't that committed. And they will hopefully spend money. That's what MiHoYo is hoping for, or the Gacha game company is hoping for. The problem is you can't do that. Like the free-to-play player at the moment in Genshin who invested into all the free-to-play characters, that's how they won. They were smart. They weren't grinding the fucking ever-living shit out of the game. They were just smart with how they spent their resources.
Everything for $500,000. You think anybody's gonna say, oh, okay, yeah, sign me up? And you have these fuckers who say, oh yeah, I'm a guppy, I'm a dolphin. The reality is the moment that you spend in a gacha, you instantly fucking lose. And that is why I fucking despise the whole virtue signaling of, oh, I'm a good person because I play free to play. Shut the fuck up.
I honestly couldn't give two shits about whether it's like you are completely free to play or you're a mega giga fucking whale. Who gives a shit? You spend your money on whatever the hell you want. I personally think you're ruining video games because you're making it so that anything that can be cash gated, a company will cash gate. However, like, money makes the world go round. We're not stupid. If like the companies are in it to make money, if people are willing to spend the money, like if I could sell you a bridge, why wouldn't I do it? If I could sell you a bridge completely legally, no, not getting any trouble, why would I sit there and say, nah, Nah, I'm not going to do it. Companies know they can sell resin. Companies know they can sell wishes. Companies know that they can sell skins. So why wouldn't they? It just makes sense.
That is literally how the company wants you to advertise their game. And people don't get that. It is sickening. It is sickening. It is fucking sickening. Why not just play those games at all? And then you don't contribute to this genre at all. Because I like them. Listen, I'm the target demographic. I do not claim, nor do I ever claim to be completely clean of these evils. No, I don't do that. I've never lived that my life. I don't go on my videos or go on my streams and prance. Oh, look at how much of a better person I am than everybody else. Look what I do better than these people. I don't do that. I'm 100% part of the problem, 100%. I just think some of the other ideologies are much more toxic, can lead to much more dangers than the other ones. The issue is that they are...
I agree and disagree. If whaling wasn't so expensive, no one would give two fucking shits about whether you're free to play or not. So the fact that free-to-play players are actually a problem is kind of also a problem because of whales. Because, like, let's say the difference between you being a completely free-to-play player and someone who paid to win was $20, literally no one would care. Probably because everyone would be paying the $20. But no one would give a shit. The fact that the difference is you can spend 10 grand and someone can be completely free to play and get the same sort of power level, that is eye-catching. That's what people want to see. They're like, fuck, how do you fucking do it?
Actually good. Yeah, the games are good. They're fun. You know, they're designed to be the funnest shit possible. They're designed to be
I
that
agree.
way. Here's what I'm getting at, chat.
I like Genshin.
Don't play games. Don't play anything that you like, because everything is going to fuck you. Everything is going to fuck you. But just remember, if they're a gacha content creator, they are stupid. They are evil. Take those words.
What's that mean?
And if they can't acknowledge that, they're delusional. It's just the
I need to
reality.
go back to school.
Remember, I am stupid. I am evil. Tectone bad. The other thing is, greed is completely ruining video games, because companies are going to see how much people are willing to spend.
It's not greed. I suppose it is greed, but like, who isn't greedy for money? You know what I mean? Like, to be fair, I'm not really. I wouldn't. I used the example before. If I could sell you a bridge, why wouldn't I? Because like, it's against my own moral code. Like, I have my own ethics that I try to follow, right? But there are people out there, and you're stupid if you don't think this. There are people out there that don't have a fucking moral code. If you have money, and if you have money, they want it. So what are they going to do? If they could sell you a rock for all of your money, they would do it. They wouldn't even hesitate. They would convince you that it's the most precious rock on the fucking planet. It's going to be worth $1 billion in 2 days. You better pick it up quick. It's only 500,000 right now. There are people out there that will do that. So to say that it's greed is to say that they're human. You know what I mean? It's the fact that people don't value their money. A lot of people don't value their money the way they used to. So, like, you put a gacha game today, back in 2002, I reckon pretty much no one would fucking play it for the current prices, because gacha games used to be like what you would consider to be a gacha game or a spending game in terms of like loot boxes or something like that. They were cheap, you know. Maybe you spent $60 on the game, and then someone would say, why'd you spend $60? It's a fucking free-to-play game. But now you can spend 10 grand and still be considered to be half a whale. It's completely different now.
How much more people
Went
are
off on a bit of
willing
a
to
tangent
play
there.
to get shreds of a chance to spend. You know, all those people would say, oh, I'm free to play. I'm gonna, oh sweet, the new zone came out. I'm gonna grind every single fucking chest, every single fucking quest, every single drop of content. That way I can get 17 pulls and hope to.
If that's, yeah, okay. I can definitely understand that. I can understand arguing against this. This is like, that sort of mentality is, bro, you're too far gone. There's no saving you, mate. That genuinely sounds like hell to me. I actually like going out and farming like chests and stuff, but I don't like. I wouldn't be able to do it every fucking day. I do it when I want to because it's like, oh, I feel like solving some puzzles today. Let's go get some chests. You know, go find some stuff. Go explore. A lot of the days, it's like, fuck, I don't want to do this hell. I ain't doing it. So I can sort of see what he was talking about before, I guess, in terms of people who play it for 12 hours a day. I don't know whether I didn't know that you were able to do that, in all honesty. There's still chests in Inazuma. My whole map says 100% in Inazuma, but there's still chests that I haven't found.
Pray to God that I could get my waifu, and then they don't get it. And then the new event comes out, and they log on, and they keep on increasing the player retention and the player retention and the player retention.
What was that?
Which, by the way, is one of the most important demographics around analytics to hit for like big corporate sponsorships. It's very, very, very important. Like all people who are like willing to fucking die suck. Like take that shit from the boba, like suck up every fucking boba, lick the fucking bowl clean, just for a chance to have a U on their account. But it's just very important to me for you guys to know that Gacha is bad, 100%. And I would feel horrible for any of you guys to feel like you're justifying this.
I'm looking for where he's going.
Free to play, so it's fine, right? Like over investing, playing so fucking much. Like the players who do win for Gacha, people who don't like care about anything. They just get the free summons, they log on, they...
When was the last time we talked about gambling? We've just been talking about like... We started talking about people who play the game for 12 hours a day and how like, fuck you, you're making the game fucking worse than whales are. We kind of went away from it all the way back here somewhere. This has been a long time without talking about gambling. It's still gambling. I'm bringing it back. It's still gambling. Being able to put money in to buy Genesis crystals and turn them into Primo Gems so that you can wish on a banner to try and get a 5-star character, and then, like, again, if let's use the example of, I know a lot of people aren't going to like this because maybe a lot of people are more lucky than me, and I'm just fucking unlucky, and I don't have Diluc and Kaching. I could put an infinite amount of money into Genshin and still not get either of them. It is entirely possible. That's gambling. You can put an infinite amount of money into a casino and still walk away with very little or nothing. Like, let's say all I got was 3-star weapons, which are next to useless to me. Constellations for 4-star characters I already have at C6, which are next to useless for me. All they do is give me... They don't even give me... Do they give me 1 extra pull? I think they give me 1 extra pull. And then a constellation for a C6... a C5... Sorry. A 5-star character that's at C6, which is, again... It's not next to useless. It gives me a little bit of Stardust or Star Glitter, whichever one it is. But it's still not what I'm aiming for. I could spend an infinite amount of money trying to get Diluc.
Pull, they get the character, cool. If they don't, they quit. Right? And they come back for more free shit. The people who tell you, oh, just be free to play every single day, those are the worst people by far, because that's just the best way to advertise the game. That's the best way to trick people into playing so fucking much, which leads to, oh,
yeah.
Fuck, I missed a day, I'm behind. How do you get caught up? Spend money. But the most important thing is, please,
I think
self-control for gambling.
So my method is, if I get left behind, I'm not going to spend money to make up for that. Like, I'll spend money to get a Diluc skin. I literally have the Diluc skin and I have the Kaching skin without having either of the characters because I am preparing to have them. So I've spent money in order to get them. However, if I get behind because I was too busy playing Punishing Grey Raven, or I was too busy playing Star Citizen, or I was too busy playing... I keep saying busy wrong. Playing Battlefield or something like that, I would just accept it. Like, I fucked up. So I don't relate to that mentality. I guess other people do it. But you can't. say you're free to play if you catch up. I don't understand that.
Of self-control for Gacha, because that shit will tear you fucking apart. Elden Ring was a very groundbreaking game that came out.
Oh, you might be talking about actually free to play YouTubers or free to play content creators convincing people to be free to play in the game, and then those people fall into that trap. Okay, I get what he's saying. He's bringing it back to the content creators.
Actually get that you don't need to spend money on besides the initial purchase, and you get a full fucking game.
I just thought the logic of doing that was fucking dumb.
Let's actually Google this. Elden Ring total sales 16.6 million. Chat, that is less than 1/30th of the Raiden Shogun banner. So Elden Ring made 1/30th of what the Raiden Shogun rerun banner made. So just keep that in mind. Wait, you didn't read it right? You think so? Those were copies? Total sales of Elden Ring now stands at 16.6 million. Really? Oh, 16 million copies. 16.6 times 60. Oh, thank God. All right, cool. So let's assume that all of that is net profit. That means that one of the most successful games of our time period, best case scenario, made 2 times the money of one rerun banner and Genshin Impact out of the...
Yeah, their whole time, they've made a third of what Genshin made in their first year, I think. They made $3 billion in their first year. Fuck, man. They're not even comparable.
What is it, 86 banners? So best case scenario, it made 2 times the money of a rerun banner.
And Tectone counts for a third of that.
But going forward, and
Tectone's the fucking biggest spender in the game.
The most important thing for me to stress to people who have watched my streams or have watched my videos is that please be careful with your money. It's a very slippery slope. You don't want to buy things that you don't need.
I actually disagree with this bit. I guess I'm kind of guilty of it too, but I'm not I don't want people to watch content of wishing, right, and then play the game. So I would probably say this as well. However, it doesn't do anything. Let's say you say to your audience, wishing is not worth it, just watch me. So then they watch you. They watch you get hyped over getting a character, and they think, fuck, I would be able to do that. Or they watch you get shit luck, and there will be people out there, because there's enough fucking people in the world, there will be people out there that will say, I have better luck than that, and then they'll wish. So by you wishing, you will ultimately encourage people to wish. We could argue that those people were going to lose their money somehow anyway, because if they're that easily swayed into wishing, putting their money into a game to wish for characters, they were going to lose it anyway. We could absolutely have that argument, but that doesn't mean what you're doing isn't making them spend that money. It's still encouraging gambling, and that's why I think I genuinely believe at least the wishing should be banned on Twitch. Should be banned on banned from being what's the right word? Banned from being fed to kids. If you wanna show your adult audience, like, oh, let's all watch me lose a bunch of money, go for it. If someone gets sucked in, go for it. But if that person is a kid, their brain's still developing. I don't want to teach them that wishing is something that you just do. Oh, sorry, gambling is something that you just do. I really don't like that. I really don't like it when it comes to kids. You bring kids into the argument, I will fight you on it every single time. If it's adults, don't care. Don't care. You do what you want. I will tell you not to do it, but if you still do it, like, at some point you need some self-responsibility.
And you don't want to spend money that you don't have.
Again, kids for me is 15 and under.
There is no scot-free way to spend. There is no scot-free way to play. It is just incentivizing bad game design and greedy corporate.
That is also true.
That's very important for me to say.
And think about it. If you could, if you removed resin from Genshin, what would happen? It would become a better game. It would absolutely become a better game. Or it would become a game that needed endgame content because people were able to grind up to have the characters as powerful as they want, right? If you were to remove the wishing system from Genshin, and you were to make it so that by doing challenges you got characters, it would ultimately be a better game. But here's the thing, I mentioned it before, we all know that companies want to make money. If they can sell you something, they will. It's as simple as that. Because they can sell people resin, they sell resin. Because they can sell characters, they sell characters. Because they can sell skins, they sell skins. It's as simple as that. If there was no one to buy it, it wouldn't be there.
That's all I wanted to say. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's a good video, bud. I'll do this real quick. Yeah, no, it's a good video. I like Tectone a lot. He makes some pretty good takes. He does make some bad takes. So I've seen a lot of his other videos, and he does often what's the right word? He does be a little bit of a hypocrite sometimes, but at the end of the day, who doesn't? You know what I mean? We're all humans. We all do that sort of stuff. So I'm not going to hold it against him because the majority of the time he is pretty switched on. So that's just my take on it. Gambling, like I shouldn't really repeat it at the end of the video. Gambling being broadcast to kids in any way is just, as far as I'm concerned, not on. You just don't do it. And the fact that it is being done, I'm not happy about it. Just not happy about it. But the other thing is, if there's no one around to, like, if no one is standing up to it, is it necessarily wrong? Are you complicit in it? I don't know. Like, you can make a million arguments for why we're in this fucking situation. Yeah. Just know, as far as I'm concerned, gachas are gambling, loot boxes are gambling. RNG in a video game, I can't remember where that example came from. That's not gambling. It's not life destroying. So thank you for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. I probably did, I'll say it again as well. I've probably made some pretty bad analogies in this video, but yeah, I don't normally do this sort of stuff. I normally just talk shit. So yeah, thanks for watching. Catches.